Hello, everybody. I am Justin Doyle. Here's my wild card for reference. So I'll just jump right into it. So as to question one, this is obviously a very tricky question to answer because I don't think it really matters whether I agree with the data science modeling application that companies like HP or Target use. Do I feel entirely comfortable with firms deducing our work and our lives into data sets? Obviously, no. However, this is the exact process that the human brain undergoes when we make assumptions about those we interact with. Take a number of inputs that are given, whether it be mood, age, expressions, conversations, much more, to utilize our past experience, and in terms of data science models to predict what's to come next. So the issue is not with the process that's happening. It's with the speed and efficiency it does it with and the ease of access to these forecasts for everybody. Just in terms of the book, like they say, there are 4 factors of big data: variety, velocity, veracity, and volume. These are the big 4 issues. The variety, there's a vast number of data points that are being collected, whether it be through our phones, through our social information that's just out on the web already, whatever. It's being collected in the large databases, and we really have no control over that. The velocity, the speed at which the data is available and processed. The veracity, the data quality is becoming ever greater. There's so many open sources that have clean data already for us just to use and create our own models with. And the volume, like I said, these databases are becoming ever so large. So the issue is that there's no mental legwork that must be done, really. We begin to lose our own instincts and trust the instincts of a model that has the inability to measure the intangibles. For example, if we have a model that measures performance in the workplace and utilizes this to conduct layoffs, how do we know the model covers all aspects? What about the dynamic between an employee and their coworkers? Does this person uplift others and improve their performance at the slight expense of their own? Does their relative value as a person outweigh their value in terms of profit? I don't think that any one model can truly account for this. As to whether it raises ethical concerns, that's where the regulators and data scientists need to step in and be fully transparent about what's being collected and how it's being used. We know that we are being observed at all times. Our cell phones alone allow the government and corporations like Facebook and Apple to know everything about our lives and predict everything to come next in our lives. Targeted advertising is the biggest example of this. They can influence your spending habits simply by using past data to push targeted ads that you are more likely to fall for. I've fallen for them before, and I'm sure you have too. However, I don't think this is fully transparent for all users. While some of us may know this level of surveillance and modeling is occurring, many still don't. They think it's a pure coincidence. So while I think the act itself is not as ethically reprehensible as some make it out to be, the manipulation and the lack of full transparency from collectors is where the ethical concerns begin to creep in. The issue of making incorrect assumptions about employees or users is also of ethical concern, but I think it's simply a byproduct of innovation that has been largely positive. In a capitalistic society, it is a disservice if we limit the ability for technological improvement. And if there happens to be downsides that come with a much larger benefit, then that should be the case. At least with data science, it takes a human emotion to have decisions, but perhaps to a fault. There needs to be a clear process to decision making where models pass information to managers and managers make these informed decisions. We can't simply allow the data to speak for us. Going on to the second question. As for the 2 chapters of reading in the textbook, most of that information was already known. I've taken many statistics courses in the past, and a lot of that was already, of knowledge. I think that most of what I learned this week came actually from this discussion about big data and the applications of this in the workforce. The 2 articles were particularly enlightening, but we see this in our everyday lives most commonly. We are always being analyzed, whether it be by peers, bosses, coaches, companies, etc. But we are adapting to perform analysis using an external source. Machine learning processes are of particular interest to me, as these analyses will only become more accurate as we feed more data into them and allow them to learn from past mistakes. This is both exciting and scary because we're reaching a point of no return, if we haven't reached it already, which we probably have. On a personal and professional level, I've utilized machine learning models in order to predict which clients are most likely to be receptive or close on our product. And in doing this, we were able to make informed decisions both on the sales and marketing side of the business. So who to target, how to target them, a branch of questions that I won't go too deep into. But that's just from my own professional experience. And I mean, really, the question becomes, just in terms of this whole discussion, we're becoming ever more efficient. But at what point in this equation do we lose our role entirely, or are we entirely taken out? Because at that point, I think we need to be able to limit the technologies that we have while also not doing a disservice and cutting them off entirely. Thank you. Let's have a great quarter. Go Cats.